there, and thanks so much for joining me today. Today we're going to do the Starving Artist tag, and these are 20 questions which are about me, my art and my process and things like that. So this is a collaboration with these other amazing artists. There's Happy D, Lena Danya, Catherine Ward, Miranda Byler and Tina Yu and myself. So in the description box I will put the links to their videos so you can see what their answers are to these questions. So let's crack on with the questions. So the first question is, what is your favourite experience as an artist? So I suppose my answer to this question is maybe a little bit more generalised. Because I've not been doing art as a profession for like very, very long, I don't feel like I have a lot of experiences yet. But I think my favourite experience being an artist is just to daily be able to like connect with people across the world, and I get so many messages every day saying that I've inspired them, and that's like really strange to hear because I get inspired by other artists and I never thought I'd be able to do that or have that effect on someone. So I think that's like my favourite experience as an artist, even though that happens, you know, nearly every day. But that's pretty like mind-blowing to me because I feel very happy that I can have that effect on somebody. The second question is, what is your least favourite experience as an artist? Not too long ago, when I was trying to go down the gallery route, I visited a gallery in my local area and I kind of brought loads of work and I put it all on the table in front of them, and it was just like a little bit awkward because they just stood there and sort of like judged all my pieces and was like, I don't think, oh no, I don't like that one, and I understand that when you do art you have to be open to like criticism and things like that, but I just found the whole situation like really awkward, and they weren't very kind. Like the things that they said and the way they said it wasn't very kind to me, really. Yeah, just the whole situation was really awkward, and I just had that like rush of blood and warmth to the head, and I was like, I want to get out of here. This is a horrible, I hate all situations like that. So that's probably my least favourite experience. So question 3 is, what are your dreams and goals for your art? My ultimate goal for my art is to, in 5 years, 10 years, whatever, is to still just be making it and to still feel like I'm being fulfilled through it. That I'm not just doing it as a job or feeling pressured to make certain things for certain people, but to really enjoy it and feel like I'm still expressing myself and still getting back from my art, if that makes sense. Because when I first started, I feel like it was all self-expression, and then all these pressures start coming in to make things that people like, and especially when you start getting a following online on social media or something, you suddenly feel this pressure that people have to like it, and I don't want that to take away from art and to feel like I'm not doing what I want anymore. So question 4 is, what is your favourite medium and why? I think my favourite medium all time is oil, because I feel like the colours are really deep and vibrant, and they seem to be a lot more 3D looking on when they're on a canvas as opposed to acrylics or watercolours or that kind of thing. Because it's like takes a long time to dry, it's quite nice to use because you can change it a lot. You know, you don't have to like think, oh quickly I've got to get this done because it's going to dry and then I can't blend the colours or anything like that, and then you can just leave your palette for a few hours, come back to it, and all the paint is still there, just ready to use still. So question 5 is, what inspired you to do art and why do you love it? I think what inspired me to do art is going to galleries like in my local area but also down in London, and it was just like this whole new world that was opened up to me, and it just felt so fresh, it felt so unique, it just felt so different, and it was like a place that just broke the rules so much that it was impossible to judge it. There was just so many different bars that it was like there wasn't a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, and I think that's what really drew me to art, is that you could be completely free and not feel restricted by it in any way. So number 6 is, what is the favourite piece you've ever made and why is it so special? Ooh, that is a good one. I feel like I probably have a few for like personal reasons. I think my favourite would have to be this piece, which is called Away with the Fairies, and I think this is my favourite because I didn't make it for anyone but me. So even as I was making it, I'd already decided that I'm not going to sell this, this is just going to be a piece for me. And I think that like truly shows your expression in it, I suppose. And yeah, I still have it hanging up downstairs still now, and it's been up there for about 2 years or something, and it gets a lot of compliments when people come in. So yeah, I think that's my favourite piece. So question 7 is, who or what are your biggest art influences? It kind of changes like all the time. Even quite old art, as in like Monet or that kind of thing, even those influences change all the time. I think my biggest influence is probably Monet, and he has the work that I crave the most, I suppose you would call it. As in today's artists, Charmaine Olivia is absolutely amazing, and when I first started out, she really inspired me to think, you know what, you can do this as part of your life and make art every day, and she sort of inspired me to begin it as an art career on Instagram and that kind of thing. But yeah, as I say, it kind of changes all the time, and it doesn't always have to be artists that influence me, or it can be fashion. I get inspired by a lot of florists' work because obviously I like painting flowers, but sometimes the way they put a bouquet together really makes me want to paint it. So question 8 is, what did you learn from being a full-time artist? I think the biggest thing that I've learned is not to undersell your work. So especially when you're first starting out, you might think, oh, this is too expensive, no one's going to buy it. Or you might just sell very rarely that you think, I need to drop my prices. But don't do that, because your art is so special and unique, and you should set the price to what you think it is worth and how much energy you've put into it. And if you do take the price down on something a bit too much and then you do sell it, you will be disappointed after, because you think, actually, you know what, that wasn't worth it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learnt since doing it full time. Number 9 is, what do your family and friends think about you being an artist? I think at the beginning they were probably like a bit confused, because I don't think they understood quite where like I wanted to take it and how it could become like a job. It's that age-old thing, isn't it, that when someone does something new, people not sure how to react to it until someone else sort of like goes along and agrees with it, and then gradually everyone starts accepting it a lot more. There has been like friends and family which has supported me from like the very, very beginning, and then there's others that have been a bit like on the sidelines, and then as it's become more and more, they've sort of been like, yeah, you know what, it's going and you're doing well with it and that kind of thing. So yeah, don't be put off if anyone is a bit like funny about it, because they can't see in your head like where you want to take it. So just ignore other people's reactions and just keep doing what you think is right. So number 10 is, was becoming an artist your childhood dream? If not, what is? I think it actually was, but I never thought it would happen. I mean, I remember visiting galleries when I was young, and I was just amazed and awed at all this work, and I just never thought that I would be able to do that, which is why it's so amazing, really. And every day I just feel really, really blessed to be able to do it. So what advice can you give to people who want to be more artistic or creative? I think advice I would give would be to not be afraid of making work that you won't like, because when you first start you probably won't like most of it, and that is the same with everyone who begins making art. It's just like a fact, basically. Because a lot of the time you have it in your head, but it's really difficult to get that out on paper or whatever medium that you're using. So I would say, don't be afraid, and don't be worried about, don't stop the fear of making something you won't like stop you from doing it at all? That sounds confusing, but I hope you know what I mean. Question 12 is, were you supported to pursue art as a child? Yeah, I mean, I used to go to, like, well, this is when I was really little, like probably 9, when I was like 9 years old. I was desperate to go to art and craft evening after school, and it did actually cost, like, my mum and dad, so the fact that they let me do that shows that they were supportive of me exploring, like, arts and craft and that kind of thing. I mean, I remember, like, doing a lot of things that I didn't really want to do just because the teacher said, oh, today we're going to do this, or I can't really remember, but a lot of it was like making pots and stuff, which, you know, is an art, but it's like, that's not what I wanted to do. It was like not forced on me, but if I wanted to do it, then I could do it, and my mum got me like sketchbook and pencils and that kind of thing. So yeah, I would say definitely they helped me explore that sort of creative side, which is really good for any child, really, because I think most children are quite artistic, really. So question 13 is, do you make money off your art? Yes. So yeah, I do sell my art on my Etsy shop. Again, I'll pop that in the link in the description box if you want to have a look at that. So there is originals for sale. I also sell prints, and I have like phone cases like this one, for instance. So question 14 is, what do you want to improve on or aspire to be with your future art? So I really want to improve on making my work look more like professional, I think is maybe the word. Having more depth. I actually really want to work on being able to do abstract work, because I feel like I've tried to go down sort of like the realism thing like a long time ago, and I just got really bored and I never finished pieces. I barely even had like started them, and I just was so bored with it already. And I realised that I'm a lot more drawn to definitely impressionists and a lot of abstract work as well. And I have tried a few times with abstract, but I've not really probably given it a lot of effort, if I'm honest. And I'd really, really like to try and go down that avenue a bit more and explore that side, because I am drawn to abstract work just for the fact that you can perceive it completely differently to somebody else. Whereas with my florals, for instance, they kind of are obviously florals. And I think abstract work is actually harder than like most people think. Like, people just think, oh, you just scribble on with different colours and all that kind of thing. And I've actually tried it a few times, and it's actually really, really difficult to make it look good, even though it isn't like a picture of anything. And in that way, I really admire abstract artists for what they do, because it is really, really difficult, and I really don't feel like they actually get enough recognition for how difficult abstract art is. So that is something that I really want to look at in the future. Maybe in the new year I might have a little look at that, so watch this space. So question 15 is, what feelings do you try to express in your art? I think it's whatever I'm feeling at that time, if I'm honest. I mean, some paintings, like the ones behind me, are quite calm, and when I made them I was quite calm and in quite like a peaceful state of mind. And then other ones, like this one here, I'll put just like a picture of it here. When I made this, I was feeling really, really anxious, quite unsettled, a little bit fearful. And so when I was making that, I was kind of getting those feelings out, and I really feel like you can tell, because especially when you look up close, because there has literally been paint thrown at it, and there's like spurts of all different weird colours. And yeah, I think every painting is probably different in that aspect. Question 16 is, what is your favourite thing to paint and why? I really, really love painting faces, because they're really difficult. So I feel like I can really judge how my drawing skills are at that time, because I can tell that if I don't draw faces for a long time and then I try, my face is just completely off. I really love painting florals because I can use whatever colours I want. See, when I did like ocean paintings and things like that, I found that I was getting a little bit bored of always using the same colours, and sometimes you want to use like that deep, bright pink or even like black or something like that. And yeah, again, that's kind of why I want to get into the abstract art side of things, because you can use whatever colours you're feeling at that time. You don't have to justify it with the subject matter. Okay, so question 17 is, what's the strangest thing you've painted? I can't think of anything very, very strange that I've painted. So I think what I'm going to have to do is have a look, like literally go and look through all my art and see what that is. This is like my really old sketchbook. I think I filmed a tour of this and then I never put it up because there's like a lot of things in here that are a bit too personal. No one's ever seen it before. So there's a couple of like weird things in here, so I'll show you like a few of the really weird things in here. They're not really like very, very strange, but they're just weird sort of like abstract drawings, I suppose, which kind of look a bit freaky. So, you know, it's kind of just interesting to see other people's drawings, so I hope you enjoy it. Have you ever been hung up after you started a commission, and how did you handle it? Yeah, actually commissions are quite hard in that respect because there's suddenly two people that you have to meet their like expectations. So obviously yourself and then the person that wants the commission. I will just keep working at it till we're both 100% happy with the painting. Question 19 is, do you admit that paint smells good? Some of it smells good, some of it smells really, really rank. I do actually quite like the smell of oil paint, I suppose, because although it doesn't really smell that good actually, it just reminds me of like being able to paint and having that freedom at that time and how I feel when I'm painting. So it's probably like a memory thing, you know, and your brain just like connects a memory with a smell. And question 20 is, what would you tell your younger self? Okay, I would tell my younger self not to give so much credit to what other people think, because I would always feel like they knew more than me. Even like people like the same age as me, I would just sort of presume, I still do it sometimes actually, I just presume that they know more than me, or what they say is like true, even if I think the opposite or something like that. So I would tell myself to give myself more credit for what I think. So yeah, just to have more confidence in what I think and to believe in myself a lot more. To not be embarrassed of who I am and who I want to be, even if it's like different to anyone else in our friend group or something like that. So that is Starving Artist tag. I hope you enjoyed the answers to those questions, and I want to thank you so much to the other YouTube artists, as I mentioned earlier, for including me in this collaboration. So again, I've put the links to their videos in the description box so you can check out their answers as well. So I tag all of you lot who have YouTube channels to do the Starving Artist tag, and let's get this trending. It'd be amazing if you could like this video and even subscribe, and you can follow me on the social medias if you want to check out my art journey. Have a wonderful week, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!